So today I'll be showing how the blocks and combs work within WikiHouse Skylark. I've been modeling with Skylark for I think a month now, and it took me quite a while to really understand how the blocks work, because even though it's designed to be super simple, and actually it is really super simple, it's difficult to get started just because there's so many different elements to just think about. So I thought it would be helpful to maybe do a little bit of run through. I'll do two videos probably. One is this one where I'll talk through the blocks and the combs, and I'll show you in SketchUp how to get started with actually modeling your ground level so that you can start building a house from that. And then the second video I'll do actually modeling an actual house, a simple house with it, so that you can put one and one together, and hopefully model yourself. So usually I use the desktop version of SketchUp, but for this I'll use the free version online, just because it's more accessible for people, and the actual desktop version, not everyone may actually have that. So what I'll do first is I'll talk you through the blocks of WikiHouse Skylark. So these are available freely on the website from WikiHouse. And just to say, I do not work for WikiHouse. I'm just very enthusiastic, and I'd like to learn. So the blocks are divided into different categories. So we'll start with the walls. You'll see the walls. They're three different types. So you have your corners, that come in different sizes, and the sizes in this case actually refer to the height of your walls. So you have your corner walls that the name says it goes in each of the corners of your house. Then you have different wall Gs. The G here refers to the gable roof. So as you can see on the top, it is diagonal, and that is because a gable roof will come on top of that. And then you have your regular wall blocks. So these are just your regular walls that go in between, but as we will come to that once we're modeling an actual house. The one other thing to note with the walls is, as I said, is the different sizes. So the different sizes are not just for the corners, but also for your regular walls. So you have a small, a medium, or an XL. And as I said, that refers to the height of your walls, and therefore to the height of the room that you're modeling. Then you get onto the windows and doorways. Very similar to the walls, they come in different sizes. So if you're modeling with an S wall, you'll need to use the S door so that the height is actually the same, as the walls next to it. So you have three different sizes of doors and three different sizes of windows that correspond with the walls. Then we get to the floors. There's two different categories in that. So you have your end blocks, your end floor blocks. These, as the name says, it actually go on the end of each side of your house to the axis, and I'll shortly show you what that looks like in SketchUp once you're actually modeling. And then you have your floor beams, and the floor beams, they go in between the ends to actually cover the whole floor of your house. Again, I will show you that shortly, a bit later on in this video already. Then you get to the roofs. Currently, WikiHouse Skylark has only the gable roof available, but the WikiHouse team did say, they're working on a flat roof model and a sloping roof model as well. So they are coming. And I'll explore them obviously when they get released. But at the moment, there's the gable roof, which, similar to the end floor blocks, you have an end block for the gable roof, that has the entire span of the house. And then you have your roof beams that cover the rest of your house, let's say. And to note though that the current gable roof works with a 4.8 meters internal span, and that actually only corresponds with the M level of the floor. So you can only use your gable roof with a medium-sized house, not with a larger or small ones. That's just something to notice when you're modeling. And then comes the most confusing, or at least for me, this was the most confusing. And in the other categories, you have so many different combs, but the combs are actually super important because they form the structure of your house. And so you start with the combs to make the frame of your home, and then on top of these combs actually come your floor blocks, and then on top of the floor blocks come the wall blocks, and that's how you build each level. So you start building with combs. Now, with combs, there are a couple of things to note. First, you will see you have comb A, you have comb B, and then you have comb G. So the comb A are for your ground levels. So that is literally the first floor you're building, your ground floor. And then the second type, the B, is for mid-level. So that is when you put your second floor on top of the first floor that you've modeled. And then you have the G, which is the G as in gable roof. So similarly to what we saw at the start with your wall G, well, this is where your comb G, they all correspond as well. So that's the first thing to notice with the combs, is that you have A, B, and G. Then the second thing to notice with it is that you have combs for the x-axis and the y-axis. So the x-axis is for the width of your house, and the y-axis is for the length or the depth of your house as well. And you'll see, so there are different sizes as well, and I'll show you in SketchUp what that means as well. So you have, as I said, so you have A, B, and G, then you have the x-axis and the y-axis, and then the final thing to notice is that you have the mid one as well, so that is in the middle of either x or y-axis. So these are the different blocks at the moment, and what you can do is you can download the design kit from the WikiHouse website, and then you can start modeling right away. You will need to import that then into SketchUp, and you can start building. So for my practices, I've only used the simple blocks just because there's less detail in it, and I get less distracted. But of course, it's up to you whether you want to work with the simple blocks or the detail blocks. So we have done the simple blocks. So getting right into it, we then go to SketchUp, and as I said, I'm using SketchUp free at the moment, so this is freely available for anyone. You just need to have an account. And what you'll do to start a new one, I have downloaded the simple design kit. I've created my own, which I will get into a second, but basically it's a simple design kit with a little bit of a few extra blocks. So I opened it, and it's opening now into SketchUp free. And what you'll see here are all the different blocks that we talked through earlier. So you get all the different blocks here. These are the extra ones that I developed myself, but I'll get to that in the end. So don't worry about them now. So what we'll do for this video is we will work with the combs. So you will see the combs here, and this is very neat because you can actually see the difference. So these are the A level combs. I just need to explode this so that you have each individual component. So these are the A level combs. They are for the ground floor, and as you can see, they're just smooth and equal on the bottom. So they are for your ground level. They're all equal. And then you have for the B, for the mid level, you actually have these little dents in them, and they're also the B ones are longer or higher than the A level ones, and that is because they fall on top of a wall. But I'll get into that at the next video. So what we'll do is we are going to model the frame of our house. So we're going to make an x-axis with combs and a y-axis, and then what we'll do is we'll put the floors on top as well. So what you'll see here is if we go to the entity info, you'll see this is for the x-axis. So you have x1, x2, x3, then you have the middle one for the middle ones, and then you have the y-axis as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start simply by copying x1. I'm going to start with x1. I'm also going to do the x2 as well, and then I'm going to get a middle one added in as well. So the middle one will need to go there. Now from these columns you'll see this is the end of it. So this one, that one actually, this little end here, this is where the y-axis will connect eventually, so that needs to be on the outside, and you'll see on this side that's on the inside now. So what I'll do is I'll just rotate it 180 degrees so that it's on the outside here. So then what we'll do simply is to connect these, making it into one line, and then we got our x-axis. So here we go. So this is the x-axis with combs, but what you'll see now is this is all nice and smooth, right? But if we would then go to the next step to put our end M block on there, what you'll see is actually something is missing. And this is where you notice that WikiHouse is designed to be pokey-okey, and that means that it's supposed to be fail-proof. So if something is not fitting correctly, you can deduce from that actually you've made a mistake. And knowing that, I've learned quite a lot. So what you'll see now is if you put the end block on it, there is still a space here, you see? So if I fit it neatly, where the combs need to fall through the end block, you'll see there's still a space. And the reason for that is that the combs, they always need to come in twos. So you need to make another row of this and fit it on its face. So what you'll need to do is you need to copy these again, and you need to rotate it again. So what you'll do is, again, I'll show you here quickly, you rotate them again, and you'll need to make sure that they line up. So here we go. So you will see that these now line up, right? So you have a nice and smooth journey there. So here we go. So they all line up, because if we don't do that, if we just copy it, then really it doesn't fit neatly. So then what you'll see is if you don't rotate them, again, this outside edge is on the inside, and I guess the little spikes or whatever they are called, they don't match up. So we are rotating them. And you will see, you're thinking, well, why then can't you just copy that one row and fit it, just put it face level? Why do you then put this x1 here, whereas the x1 on the first row is on that side? Well, the reason is for the fault lines. So as you can see now, there's not one single point of failure almost. I don't have a technical background, so I don't know if that's the right explanation, but as you will see, there's I guess the breakage points are at different sizes now. So that's why we put them I guess in the opposite way. So now what we have the x-axis. Usually what I do is I just make them into a group so I can't accidentally move them anymore. And then what you'll see is if you put the end floor black on, you will see that actually now it fits neatly. So you have them fitting in, oops, sorry about that. You have them fitting in nicely. So x-axis done. I'll put that away, that's for later. Then, nearly done then, we are then copying this one for the other end of our home. So you got that here. And now we have to make the y-axis. For the y-axis, I'll do exactly the same. So I'm going to copy y1. I'm going to copy y1. I'm going to copy y2, and I'm going to copy the mid mid comb as well. So now what we'll do is, you will see here, this is the end side of it again. So we'll need to rotate it in such a way that it will actually eventually fit in with the x-axis. So here we go. In this way it will fit in with that nice little line here to fit it in eventually. And so we'll do the same for the mid one. Here we go. Lining those up nicely. And we will do the same with this one. Let me just check where the line is. Here we go. So here we go. So now we have the y-axis done, right? And we'll need to do exactly the same as we did with the x-axis, is that we will need to create two lines. So what we'll do is we'll copy this again and do exactly the same as we did with the x-axis. I'm just going to copy them again. So rotating these, there you go, and rotating this one as well. There you go. Right, so quickly putting them together here. There you go. I think that one, lining them there, and then putting this one there as well. I'm putting it into, I don't want to go too quickly, so there we go. Does it fit nicely? Let me just quickly check that. Here we go. Right, so we have the y-axis done now, and what I'll do again is I will make this into a group. I said I will make it into a group. Now SketchUp crashes on me because I was being too quick and made a mistake there. So here we go. So what I'll do, I don't know why it's doing this now. Here we go. Oh, the joy of SketchUp free. Right, here we go again. Trying this again. Trying this one more time. Not doing this. I'm very sorry, guys. Here we go. Well, if you want me to do it the old-fashioned way, I can. Here we go. Now, we make them into a group. Now, this is a group. You can move it nicely. And this is when now we shall be fitting the X and the Y axis together. So, you'll see here the grooves. And what we'll do is we will align this point with this point here. Here we go. And it fits in nicely. Again, this is why it's so important to have the two different sides, or the two rows next to one another, is because they fit then neatly into it, and it's snug in there. So we do that on this side. And I'm sorry, SketchUp free annoys me. And then we do it the same on this end as well. So there we go. We're going to put the x-axis in here. Here we go. So that's nicely in. Then we need to copy this one over there. Not actually copying it to the blue axis, but actually on the red one. And then we need to fit it in here as well. I'm just going to show you here again. We're going to use this point and fit it in here. And that should mean that on this side it's done as well. Right, so now we're nearly done. So this is your frame of your house. It's a medium-sized house. So this is the medium size for the x-axis, and then the y-axis. Really, you can make it as long as you want. But for now, I've just done the simple one with just a simple length, really. So then the only last thing you'll need to do to create your ground floor is you need to put the end block on each of the x-axis. So you're going to put this one, the M end block, you're going to put it on here. And what you can do is use, I want to show you here, use this end as the marking to make it fit, right? So this point is going to go on that one there. So this point is going to go on that one, in theory, if SketchUp allows me to zoom in correctly. It doesn't, so there we go again. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Come back in, and I'm going to show you again. Here we go. So now it's on, right? Now this is where you show another thing. As I told you, it's pokey. This does not fit correctly. Why is that? Is because I have to mirror, or I have to turn this one around. I haven't yet figured out why that is. There's probably a mathematical reason for it, and I don't know it. But in any case, I've put it around, and here we go. Now it fits neatly. So I knew this was going to happen. I just showed you on purpose, just to show you that it is the right order, but you may need to just change it slightly. So what I've done now is I've copied it to the other side, and again, you will need to rotate this one. There you go. I need to rotate it. Here we go. And then I'm going to put this back in. Right, I'm going to put this back in. And as I said, I am using this point here. There we go. So now what we have here is we have the ground floor with the end floor blocks on it, and then the only last thing that we have left to do is to put in the regular floor beams. Put in the regular floor beams, and I have just moved that instead of copied, but that's fine. And what you can do is just very simply align it with your end floor block, and this is where you'll see again for your y-axis, your columns, the endpoints fall neatly into each floor block, as you can see here. So that means we can easily deduct how many floor beams we'll still need. So as you can see, this falls neatly in. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. So what I'll do is I'll copy this. Seven times, and there you go, and that's it really. This is your ground floor with the combs that form really the structure of your house, and then after this you will you've put your floor blocks on top of your combs to create that ground level, and then after this you need to start putting in walls and windows and doors and that kind of thing. So this is quite a lot of steps, isn't it, to create that first floor. So this is why I've actually created an easier way to do it. So in my starter simple design kit, which is available on my GitHub, and I'll link it in the video description, what I've done is for each of the standard sizes, so again, as I showed you at the beginning, the blocks, they come into standard sizes S, M, and L. So for each of them, I've actually already combined them with the combs, so that you can start building right away. So you don't need to fiddle around with the 2 rows of combs anymore, putting the end floor blocks on top. They're already done for you. And then what you only need to do is to do the y-axis. So that's it for now. And in the next video, we will build on this, and then we will actually create a simple house. So don't forget to save your work, and I'll see you for the next video. Thanks for watching.